Welcome back to a brand new episode of TVGP's Critical Misses. I'm your host, Boston, and joining me as always is Moonpear.
Hello.
We're here talking about Ghost's second album, Infestissumam, which I'm hoping I said right, because that's probably one of three times I'm going to say it. Second album here, 2013, recorded in Nashville, Tennessee, which will become important here in a couple of tracks. And
Okay.
we're gonna do something a little bit different here. We're not gonna have a part one to this episode. Uh, we
Shall
just
we shall we just announce it off the bat or any of the next several episodes?
sure. I mean, sure. We're just gonna do a one for here for a one parter for probably the rest of this season. And
Uh-huh.
you just get into the music. Go listen to the album. We'll be back, and we'll talk about the next album for the next episode. You know how it goes. Uh,
Yep.
so
And now we can get into part two.
yes, exactly. Yeah, part two. Welcome. Hello. That's the clapping. It's the woo. The one guy that goes woo.
Uh-huh.
And there you go. All right, let's start off the album here with the title track. Boy, the heck of a way to open this album. Of just, hey, remember that churchy business? Oh yeah, here's the guitars. Uh,
Uh-huh.
I.
Very much oh hey, let's do some more choral stuff. So
Mhm.
minor behind the scenes here for people.
Mhm.
We shifted the recordings around a little bit for this episode specifically because I am in a bit of a cluster poop situation in my life at the moment.
You have scheduling difficulties. Let's say.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it became one of these things where like I barely had enough time to listen to it this time.
Mhm.
So that means like I'm listening to it while I'm doing other things, running around the house. Now
Sure.
Boston knows my living situation, so he's aware that while I'm doing this, I have one headphone in.
Yes. Doing the old one
That's a
headphone trick.
mistake. Yes, that is a mistake when you're trying to listen to music.
True.
Because the second time I listened to this album, I had both headphones in, and it's like,
Mm.
oh, it has a guitar track that's entirely in the right headphone.
There it is. Stereo.
So, note to self,
Mhm.
two headphones
Right.
in the future.
Get the full experience here. Yeah.
Because I listened to this whole thing twice, and the first time was one headphone, and I damaged my thoughts about this and had to redo
Sure.
all of my notes.
I see. I see. Interesting. Um I think this is a way more interesting and way more solid way to open this album than the previous one, um,
Mm.
especially with how it transitions into the next track here. I like this track a whole lot.
Oh, I like the fact that it feeds it in.
Mm-hmm.
It's my favorite thing on an album when I'm listening to an album.
Mm-hmm.
It's my least favorite thing when I'm listening to an album on, I don't know, YouTube or any other, situation.
Mm-hmm.
Because ads interrupt
It starts
the
with
flow,
ho
we'll
ho
say.
he ha ha, and then it's like Hello Fresh brings you the freshest ingredients in your use
Uh-huh.
use code Satan for to save 10%. Um,
Uh-huh.
I hope
Let me
that's
tell
not
you what you
hope
need
that's not code.
right between the first track and the second track is a little gecko talking about
That's
burritos.
that's right.
It's not
I'm
something you need to really
trying to
listen
reach
to.
you about your extended warranty. And it's like, no, stop. Even
Uh-huh.
here, get out here. As we talked about, it transitions into this next track, per aspera ad inferi, which is a play on the famous saying. Um, I I like this track quite a bit. I feel like this is them kind of nailing the sound from the first album in a way that's like, here's this thesis statement. Like, it's still this kind of psychedelic rock, almost psychedelic pop, kind of dream pop sort of thing. This kind of mash of influences here. Um, and I I feel like this track just kind of plants the flag and is like, no, this is what Ghost sounds like right now, and here's kind of the cleanest version of it.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, I also like
Yeah.
them kind of taking the famous saying per aspera ad astra, uh, and turning that away from the heavens and down south, which
Yes,
feels
it's a
appropriate.
very nice thing, and this track, like, it has a very marching vibe to it. Like
Yes.
it, so there's a fair few tracks in this which feel like they were either were inspired or inspired by other tracks, which I'll mention them as I get to them,
Hmm.
or as we get to them, I should say. But like this being the second track, it's like, okay, this feels like a marching band kind of song where it's like,
Yeah.
no, everyone get your torches and pitchforks ready because we're gonna go, kill Jesus or something.
Storm the castle or something.
uh
Yeah, especially during the chorus where the drums are really the kind of driving force of the track. Less so than I think than the guitars for that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I like this. It's not my favorite track on the album, but I think this is a really strong one, especially them showing off like, okay, we learned from the last album. Here's how you start kind of a rock album, and we're just gonna get down to it. Um, Next up here is easily one of my favorite tracks on this album, and probably one of the weirdest, in Secular Haze. Uh,
A little bit.
yeah.
This song actually started a theme which I noticed throughout the rest of the
Mm,
album, which it's the deliberate mispronunciation of words to have them fit into the flow of the
yes.
music,
Yes.
which is a very I've been doing a lot of like listening to people breaking stuff down that I
Hmm.
don't understand. So to help me understand things, there's some great movie channels out there. It's a very rap thing to do, a very hip hop
Yeah.
R&B thing to do, is to deliberately mispronounce something or to deliberately extend or change how something is said to have it fit into the flow
Right.
of the actual track itself. And Divinity might be one of my favorites ones in this album.
My favorite one in this track is Omnipotent. And like
Yes.
using kind of changing it a little bit, almost like I think how a lot of readers would pronounce it, and then kind of melding that into the lyrics overall. Um,
And I'm
I'll
very curious if that's like part of. I mean, you did say where it goes to from, but I'm very curious if that is part of it being an EASL, English as a second language
right,
kind of
right,
situation.
right. Yeah, like how much of it is kind of an accented thing, and how much of it is just kind of like, ooh, that would rhyme if I say it a little bit differently, or like we'll see on the next album. No, this album. Um, in three more tracks, kind of taking a different pronunciation of a classic word, like, oh, here's the Latin pronunciation, here's the Italian pronunciation, and using that as kind of uh, the language for the track. I like this track a lot, especially because it feels like almost like a funeral dirge or like a sea shanty or something. Like, has a very strange kind of flow and kind of circular rhythm to it that I think is really interesting. Um,
Mhm.
and did you watch the video for this one?
Oh, you mean the 70s Beatles video, but Satan is what I've
It's
written down?
like I can't even imagine seeing this video as the first thing you've seen out of Ghost, of just like, wait, who just made a 70s video? And then he floats out of the front of the set and in there in this kind of like this hazy fog, and then just starts like doing his ghost gesticulation on stage. I'm like, this is wild, man. Like connecting the sound of the song with this very 70s, even down to like, you see stuff from the early ages of TV all the way up until mid late 70s, where the reflection of the lights off of something shiny and metallic sort of blows out the camera for a little bit. You even see that in this too. Like, that's really well uh, constructed. It's wild.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like this track a whole lot. This has been the track out of everything in this album. This has been the track that's been stuck in my head the most easily. Next track here, Gigolo Megiddo. I'm probably pronouncing that incorrectly.
Yes, probably.
Yeah.
Oh, this is the first song that I got vibes of a different song, and I
Oh, okay.
actually forgot to Google what the. Uh, You're not hearing me Google, I swear.
Tippy tappy typing, hacker voice. I'm in.
Nope, that does not help
Like another
at
ghost
all.
track
Wait,
or like a famous track?
a famous track.
Okay.
Specifically, it's the Green. It has a very, very similar intro to Green Day. I wish I could remember the
Oh,
the name
interesting.
of the song.
Okay.
But go listen to the start of it and then think about Green Day while you're doing it.
Mm-hmm.
I know the song so well, I just don't know the name of the
Right.
song because I'm terrible with names.
Well, if we remember it, I'll put it in the show notes. Um, yeah, this one's interesting too because I think this feels like my notes here are again. This feels like an extension, kind of a growth of the overall '70s sound of these first two albums. Um,
Oh,
but it's way poppier. I think again that's not a negative, but especially in the chorus, it feels very very catchy and very like really solid in a way that um, I'm sort of surprised that it wasn't a single because I think it sounds really strong.
oh,
Yeah, Monas is still trying to find
yep,
the
a
mythical
hundred
Green Day
percent. Because
track.
because it's early Green Day. It's not like late Green Day. This is not American Idiot Green Day.
Okay, it's
It's
like Dookie
early
era
Green Day.
Green Day.
Yes,
Gotcha.
and it's
Okay.
very annoying because it's like I know this. I
And
know it.
like if
It's
you're
like
listening to this episode, you probably know this song too, and I'm sure once
uh-huh.
we find it, you'll be like, oh, yeah, you're right. Yeah, right.
Pretty much yes.
Yeah.
Okay, I will stop looking for the
Okay.
Green Day song I saw.
We'll do that on our break. Thoughts on this track?
Yes. Other than the Green Day intro, um, I do like the fact that it does shift away from like it's the guitar riff at the beginning. It's
Yeah.
super. It has that same thing for me, but it does shift away from that pretty nice. And I, again, it's this interesting combination of like the style of music, like, and as someone who came up during peak alternative music,
Yeah.
I might be okay in saying that because like it I feel like it didn't exist as a genre that in mainstream until like my teen years, late
Mm-hmm.
teens. It's weird hearing the music and the vocals like they don't
Yeah.
they're played really well together, but it's not something you expect.
Yeah. And it's interesting because I think listening to the kind of 1-2 punch of these two tracks, Secular Haze and this one, like his voice sounds way stronger on this album and way more confident. You know, especially in Secular Haze where he's kind of extending one word and kind of melding into another one. It feels the whole band sounds way more confident in on this
Yeah.
album. I think it's really a strong impression here. Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
I think I found it.
Okay. What is it?
I didn't stop looking. I lied. You can, which means I'm just as good as just as good as of a human as Risk of Rain is at a game.
True.
We'll say
That's true.
it's "Hitching a Ride" is the Green Day song.
Hitching a Ride. Great song. Great track.
Yes.
We're not doing a
Now
Green Day
go listen.
season. Don't worry about it.
No, we're
There's no
not.
way.
Uh, no, just go listen to the beginning of this song and the beginning of that
Yeah.
song. It's freakily similar. There
Yep.
you go.
Mm-hmm. I know it. I know it. Next track here, Galula / Zombie Queen.
I hate the start of this song,
Okay.
and I love the end of this song.
I don't like this song. overall. I also
I
like,
think it's the weakest of the songs on this album, I think.
yeah,
Also, weirdly, the longest, I believe.
it's 7 minutes and 29 seconds, which I like the intro
We're Tool
part.
fans. We don't have problem with long
No, like
songs.
anything under 23 minutes, like whatever. It's blink of an eye. Um, I I kind of I don't think the intro is bad, but I think it goes on a little bit too long, and then it when they get into the second part of the song, it's almost like a surf rock song in a really weird way, and it has this kind of whiplash of like you have this kind of soft, almost romantic intro, and then it's like, oh yeah, man, we're going surfing, woo! And I just the kind of whiplash and the all over the place kind of nature of it is it's odd. I still don't know how to feel about it.
Yeah, I mean, I like the change of pace halfway through.
Mm-hmm.
I genuinely think it's a better song in the second half than it is in the first half.
Oh,
But
for
I mean,
sure.
I see where you're coming from.
Yeah, yeah. Next track, Year Zero, an all-time top 10 classic Ghost track. This is easily one of my all-time favorite Ghost songs, and I think the choral intro is a large part of it. This was where they started. They were very honest about not being able to find um, a group of singers in Tennessee that wanted to sing the various names of our Dark Lord. So they
I mean, it's not the right place to be singing this kind of song.
no,
Like,
like it's not surprising in this. So they flew out to Hollywood and people were tripping over themselves to sing it. So
know your audience, dude.
yeah, exactly. Like you gotta go to the right place for it.
Like this is a pro wrestling problem. Know your audience. Like
Right.
know where you are and who wants what kind
That's
of
right.
thing.
I think this is an outstanding track, and I think it actually is an interesting display of kind of the next step for Ghost, which we'll talk about in the next episode. Um, but I think this is an incredibly strong track overall. What did you think?
Yes. I think so too. And this is the second of the tracks where I was like, wait, it's a lot more mispronunciation going on here.
Yes,
Hmm.
Arcangelo.
Hmm.
You welcome Year
Yep.
Zero. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of that stuff going on. Also, I got really heavy One Winged Angel vibes from this. Like,
Sure.
which
Right.
is very interesting considering Sephiroth is basically Satan.
Uh-huh.
So it kind
Bring
of
in the Latin
it makes
singers. Here we
perfect
go.
sense. Like, oh,
Mm-hmm.
that's what it is. It's like you can't have like a choral Latin thing with dark words without me thinking, oh, that's Sephiroth
Mm-hmm.
right there.
Yeah, meteor's
That's
coming, man.
a Sephiroth song.
Um,
Someone needs to do an AMV of like Sephiroth scenes with this song over it and see
there
how
has to
it.
be one, right? Like there's not. It's as natural a fit as bodies with a DBZ video. Like
Oh,
there's a million of them. Moon is also feverishly googling at the moment. This was also I hadn't seen the video as much as I love this track. I also hadn't seen the video for this, which hilariously is on YouTube as Year Zero censored. And about halfway through the video, I'm like, what are we? There's nothing wrong with this video. What's going on? And the end, I was like, oh, okay, yes, the nudity, sure, yep, okay, good. Um, this is also kind of in the middle of we touched on it in the last episode, kind of in the middle of the lawsuits surrounding Ghost, which
okay.
is the different look of Papa in this video. The kind of it's another mask again, but it's bald, has like a pencil, like a John Waters kind of pencil mustache, and no face paint.
Yeah, the death in disguise kind of look, or
Right.
the Satan in disguise kind of look.
And a lot of this was surrounding the original members of Ghost, the kind of the faceless ghouls.
Untitled ghouls or whatever they're called.
Yeah,
Yes.
they were upset about the lead singer kind of taking the stage and kind of taking the lion's share of credit for all of these tracks and all of the kind of name of schools being interchangeable in the background as almost kind of like a house band. And that was there was a big lawsuit around the time of like, you can't use all this iconography, like you can't do all this stuff because you're not giving us our due like recompense, because you're just taking the spotlight and taking all the money. So that was part of this era of just like, well, it's a totally different guy. It's not Papa. It's this other mask, which is interesting that it kind of showed up during this video and the live in studio performance of Ritual we talked about in the last episode. But yeah, that's such a great track, man. Next track here, Body and Blood. I don't know how to feel about this song overall.
So the thing that this song like kind of made me realize is there was a lot of, and I use the nature of the phrases I'm about to say ironically, because that's kind of the whole nature of the band, or of the music, or the vibe. There was a lot of Hail Satan in the first track, in the first album. And this album starts with a little bit of Hail Satan. This song, the next song, and I think maybe the song after, is all a part of lol Catholicism.
Yeah, and like
I have put it down as in this,
using the kind of the language of traditional Catholicism to kind of say like, well,
and
it means more than that.
Yeah, and also the like this. I'm agnostic. Don't come at me. You can be whatever religion you want. I really don't care.
Yep.
But using it to come after like Catholicism, because it's like, yeah, dude, these rites that you do are stupid.
Right.
Like, they're symbolic, yes, but they're also stupid in their symbolism because the symbolism doesn't really make sense.
Right.
Like, this one is all about the communion, I'm assuming, based on the content of it.
I think you have to assume, yeah.
And it's like, yeah, you're right, it is stupid, because guess what? If you ingest the body and the blood of Christ, you poop it out eventually.
Right. It's like, yeah, it's like, what's the
what's the lesson there?
Apologies for the phrase, what's the back end of that equation? Is got him.
T-shirt for this season, right there.
That's right.
T-shirt for this season, right there.
That's right. But it's also interesting too because it sounds like a kind of traditional, like poppy, like Christian Catholic song, like something you would hear in like a church that's a little bit more forward thinking about like, ooh, we've got like a band in the church and we've got a 20-something dude playing an acoustic guitar. It sounds like that, which I think nails that. It has a pretty fun solo in the middle. I kind of don't like it because I don't want to give away the entire thing here. It reminds me of 2 albums from now in a way that isn't positive, in that like as much as like Year Zero kind of paved the way for the next album, this paved the way for the album after that. And I think there's a bit of a reaction from me about like, so, but I don't want to poison the well too much.
So. I don't. I think this is a very good song.
Yeah, it's very strong. I just think I have like a personal issue with it. It's not you, Ghost. It's me. It's not you, Papa. It's me. Next track here is Idolatrin. Really cool drum guitar intro. Another great like kind of marching solid beat. I think the problem with me for Ghost is like half of this album, just like the first album, is really good and I love it unconditionally, and the other half of the album is fine, and this song is fine. Like it's nothing. It's not. It's not anything I'm gonna go and like it comes on and I'm like, ugh, shut up, and like skip it. But I don't know if it's the song I would seek out from Ghost.
Yeah, I can understand that. Like, this is another one of those songs that here give me very Queens of the Stone Age vibe, like
Mm-hmm.
in the background. It's very quiet. It's not as to the front
Mm-hmm.
as like because Queens of the Stone Age is a bass heavy band, we'll say.
Well, it's
Like,
it's interesting you mentioned that because Josh Homme, the lead singer of Queens of the Stone Age, has always insisted that he thinks that they're, and I agree with him. So this isn't me being like, oh, he's really lost it. There's a different sound when a guitarist is strumming down and when they're strumming up. There's something different about pushing the pick down and pulling the pick up that makes that strumming sound different. And this
uh
track's guitar work sounds like that very sort of stereotypical Queens of Stone Age strumming up sort of thing. Like there's a
uh
different tone to it, um, and I'm surprised to hear you say that because I think this very much does sound like, oh, you could tell me Josh Homme was on this track, and I'd be like, yeah, he did the guitar. Like it sounds like
yeah,
that.
because it sounds like Queens. Like
Yeah,
it really does.
yeah. I really
Not
want.
Queen, but Queens of the Stone
Yeah,
Age.
I really want to do a Queens of Stone Age season at some point.
I know one of their albums, so I'm just saying.
Okay, I think everybody
And it's the
knows
album.
the one album.
Yes.
Yeah. Um, second to last track here, Depths of Satan's Eyes. So we've been talking about a lot of like.
This, this
Go ahead.
this is the song that I was like, okay, very much let's body and blood. Let's make fun of the communion,
Hmm.
idolatry, and let's make fun of the priesthood essentially, like
Sure.
the speeches, the lessons, that kind of thing. And this is like, hey, what if there was something else? That's good, but we can do better. To
That's
quote the
right.
guy from Wonder Woman 2.
That's right. Um, it's funny though because we were talking earlier about Green Day. We've been talking about Queens of Stone Age. We're talking about like kind of popular '90s and 2000s sort of mainstream rock acts. The chorus on this track is 100% a mid '90s Alice in Chains song. There, there's something about the like harmonizing that has an effect on it that tickles that kind of Alice in Chains portion of my brain where I'm like, ah, yeah, that's the stuff. Ooh, yeah.
There's
Lane,
another band I have no experience with, just so you know.
I need to put a season for that. Um, but yeah, there's something about it where I'm like, yeah, Lane Stanley, his ghost is there turning the knobs on the the mixer and be like, no, you got to put an effect on that. It's cool. Um, yeah, this song is fine. I like that it's another kind of love song here that has an
Yes.
interesting kind of harmonized chorus.
Yeah, and it also does my favorite thing, which is let's say something really dark and terrible in a really light and positive, upbeat way.
Hmm.
In this case, the swamp of feces that is the world is the most appropriate line that I've ever heard in a song, especially in 2025.
That's so good. That's so good.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And it's like
Um,
the opening line, and it's like, dude, what? Like, really?
yeah. Yeah, it's a really solid track. I don't think it's kind of a standout, but I think it's like it's really close to being kind of a standout track here in the album. Um, and then last track here, Monstrance Clock. Probably some of the creepiest vocals I think we've heard out of Ghost so far. The kind of like
Uh-huh.
intimate, straight into the mic sort of stuff. I think it's pretty solid. I think it's a solid ending track. I think it's an interesting and I think sort of powerful choice to have the kind of just vocal outro and then like 2 minutes of silence at the very end of it, which is pretty interesting. What do you think
Yeah.
about
And
the last track here?
like I liked it, and also I find that the the timeline of the lore is continuing as Damien is now being introduced into the
Yes.
into the timeline. If we're going to use the traditional Judeo-Christian lore, that is,
Right.
Damien is here
Mm-hmm.
now apparently.
Yeah. You know, we got to get the
Hail
whole. It's
Satan,
like the
also
Avengers.
little boys around.
Yeah.
Yep,
You got to have everybody comes together.
Damien will return.
That's right. That's right. It works for
The
Shield
second time
now.
I've made that reference in 2 days.
That's right. Um, yeah, I think this one is really interesting. I think it's a strong outro. I think for this album, and kind of a cool way to end. I think the entire album here. What did you think
Mhm.
about Infestissumam?
It was a solid album throughout. I think I
Mm-hmm.
probably like this a little bit more than the previous album.
Mm-hmm.
But that could also be because I had to listen to this one twice.
Right.
Um, Note to self: two
Right.
headphones.
Right.
It's you know what it's like. It's hard to find time where you can sit down, put two sets of headphones in, and just like listen to something, even
Yep.
if it's only for an hour.
Yep.
It's still difficult.
100%. Yeah.
But yeah, no,
Um.
I think it was good. Like other than the slightly derivative slash inspirational, I don't know which came first. I didn't look. I don't care.
Yeah.
Um, Nature of some of the tracks, and it's
Mhm.
just like okay.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. I agree with you. I think this is a really solid uh uh entry into the Ghost catalog. I like Opus Eponymous a lot. I think this album kind of nails what they tried to do in that first album, just 100%. It's always interesting, you know, when you get a band that their kind of second album comes out and you're like, oh, okay, you spent a couple of years on the road, you recorded this, like you kind of figured out what the band is by playing that first album live, and now you march right in the studio and we're like, no, this is Ghost, this is the album, let's get it done. And
Mhm.
I think it's really really solid. um,
Yeah.
Leading into our next album, Meliora, there is a little bit of homework for people that are interested in more Ghost here. There's an EP called If You Have Ghost, that confusingly and interesting features the cover If You Have Ghosts with plural.
Okay.
Yes.
Just can you spell the name of this album, please?
If You Have Ghost or
No, the album, not the EP.
Infestissumam?
No, the next one.
Meliora, sure. Meliora. 2015's Meliora.
Okay.
If You Have Ghost is
2015.
another one of their kind of covers based albums. This is also the introduction of their blossoming friendship with one Dave Grohl, who produced this album.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I like Dave Grohl. I think Dave Grohl is the Madonna of alternative music.
Oh, interesting. That's a fun one. Um, I always remember. I don't remember what the interview was for, but Dave Grohl was talking about recording the drums for Nine Inch Nails with Teeth, um, and apparently,
This- I did not know that, and I'm just saying the
uh-huh,
Madonna of alternative music kind of fits even better now.
yep. And hearing him talk about like Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross at the time were both like, okay, I just need you to like hit the drums on the zeros or whatever it was, and Dave Grohl being like, I don't know what that means. I don't know how to do that. I don't know what that means. And both of them being like, oh, he doesn't. Oh, oh my gosh, he doesn't even know. It's just he was like, hey man, what the heck? There's also some
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I know you're not your Trent and Atticus and everything, and your Nine Inch Nails, but this is also Dave Grohl,
right, like
who has
one of
been in
the
two of the biggest bands on the planet
yeah,
at
like
two separate times.
one of the
Has
most
been involved in countless stuff.
yeah.
Like
We were talking about
I,
that.
I would slap Trent and Atticus if I was him. Just but
I
hey,
think Dave Grohl was
put some respect on my names.
a little bit like, man, I was on that Queens of the Stone Age album, like the one we were talking about earlier. Like he drums
The
on
one
that,
everybody knows.
Yeah, like I've been through. I just play the drums, man. I don't know all your technical stuff. There's also some interesting rumors out there that Dave Grohl played drums for Ghost on a bunch of tours over the years. Because who would know? They were in a mask, so like
Mm-hmm.
that's the best way of doing
And
it.
Grohl is not the type of person who's gonna like. He doesn't seem to like the spotlight.
Right.
Like he
As
just
weird
doesn't.
as it is, yeah,
Yes, as
yeah,
weird as it is, he's arguably one of the most talented drummers ever.
you're right. So that's all really that was in between Infestissumam and Meliora. So if you want to go listen to another fun collection of covers that you probably didn't know that you wanted Ghost to do, then you've got that. All right,
Okey-doke.
that's our episode. That's the second Ghost album. Again, we'll be listening to Meliora. It'll be a one-parter as well. So go listen to the album. Meet you for the next one. Thanks for listening. See you next time. Bye.
Bye.